Please don't tell me no, baby, won't you stay? Can we say goodbye in the morning? Is it hard to tell? Love for me is rare. Pull me like the tide, I'm falling. I thought that you might just be the same. Fought it, but I knew that there was something different. I don't miss my space, need you face to face. Wouldn't let this go. I can't put my finger on it. I'm so into you. I forgot I was broken hearted. Wanna be close to you. I was minding my business. Oh, how to know you got me feeling, yeah. You must be proud of yourself. Got me checking in like hotel, yeah. Every weekend it's a brand new trip. Falling in love, took it off my list. My daydream was something like this. You plus me holding on tight grip. I can't put my finger on it. I'm so into you.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kiana, but on here I go by Theemodernsim. And as some of you may know, I recently upgraded my PC and I am really taking the time to update my game a bit and customize it even the more to my liking. So today I thought it would be fun to showcase a few of my must-have mods that have really elevated the overall look and feel of my game. So without further ado, let's get into it. So in order to be as efficient as possible and give you what you guys may be specifically looking for, I have divided this showcase into 3 different categories. We have UI mods, environment mods, and in-game mods. So for the UI mods, think the visual elements that you always see on the screen like text, buttons, maps, loading screens, etc. And then for environment, these are the visual aspects of the world itself. So everything surrounding your Sims, like the lighting and terrain. And then lastly, for in-game, which is the best way I can currently describe it, for these mods, they affect the overall look and aesthetic of your Sims. So the first UI mod I would like to showcase for today is a mod that doesn't really have too much of an impact, but I love it. It just adds a little bit of for me. And this is the frog opening screen by Paris Frog. If you don't know what it is, this is an opening screen override. So essentially, instead of the traditional like Sims pop-up logo before it gets to the loading screen and then the home screen, I have a nice aesthetic one. Alongside this mod, I will list a few alternatives that I usually use when I feel like switching things up. So these are by Creative Cinematically, Simsy Boy, and even L Sims World, which has really nice aesthetic ones. But moving on past the opening screen, we get to our loading screen, and I am using the Lo-Fi loading screen by Subi Sims. I'm using version 6. This is just a pretty standard loading screen. I switch between this set of loading screens periodically and some by Simsy Boy. But in addition to this Lo-Fi loading screen, I would suggest you all download the loading screen fix by Gshade in accompanying with it. And basically, this is perfect for some of the older loading screens that have not been updated. So a couple of updates ago, The Sims updated, their game, of course, and for some reason it caused all of the previous ones to have a visual glitch issue with the plumb bob in the center. So what this does is it makes it compatible for those older loading screens. The next mod that I would like to showcase is the Refresh Main Menu mod by Cinematically. Currently, I am using the home view version, and with this main menu override, it is dynamic. So it adapts to whatever time of day you're currently playing at. So if you're playing at nighttime, the windows in the outside will look like it's nighttime. Morning time, it'll look like that. Daytime, it'll look like that. Typically, if I'm not using this main menu override, I use one of Cinematically's other ones. They have quite a few of them. He has like cherry blossom ones and ones that are like pictures from the inside of the game and picture frame ones. It just depends on whatever vibe and aesthetic you're going for. But aside from his versatility of his main menu overrides, that it has a no ad pop-up built-in thingy. I don't know how to explain it, but essentially, if you've been playing The Sims in the last year, you've been noticing all of the ads that pop up constantly at the beginning once you first load in. Now, I won't say it's foolproof because I have had some ads pop up. However, one of the best things about this mod is when you go to press escape, the pop-up does not freeze your screen. It does not give you that blue screen where you have to hop out the game and come back in. So if you've been watching my videos for a little bit of time, you've been wondering how I get my UI black or blue, whatever color I had at that moment. The UI I'm currently using is the Blue UI mod by Gshade. Basically, Gshade has a full line of UI recolors. It just changes the color of the full UI, so including panels, phone, build mode, cast, and even when you're clicking on the sim, the options you get are also changed to that color. I will say, just a disclaimer, make sure you check to see if all your mods are compatible with these UI recolors because there could be some conflict. So make sure you're checking to see what mods you have and what mods can conflict this UI mod. So the next mods I would like to showcase are my map replacements. So I use a combination of two different map replacements. So I use Fan Art and Felipe Sims map replacement. Fan Art was first, and then Felipe Sims, who made a few of the maps under Fan Art, decided to update the game and update their maps. So now they go by Felipe Sims. You can still download both of them, but basically these are high quality map replacements that add just a little more depth that is needed to these maps. If you look at the regular maps that come with the game, they're very flat. They're not very reflective of what is actually going on in the neighborhoods. Fan art maps are missing a few of the worlds. I think maybe one or two, as well as Felipe Sims, since they're the newer maps. He only has a few of them currently available, and these are the newer maps. So that's why I currently have a mix of the fan art and the Felipe Sims mod. One thing I will say, a few of the Felipe Sims ones are a bit experimental in the sense that a few of them are formatted for a specific screen size, 16 by 9, I believe. And if you don't have that, it might look a little wonky on the screen for you, so just keep that in mind. Two of the Felipe Sims ones that I'm using currently are the San Myshuno, Copperdale, Willow Creek, Oasis Springs, and Newcrest ones. Speaking of maps, the next mod I would like to showcase is the No Map Outlines by Mizuyuki. This mod does exactly what the title is. It gets rid of the map outlines for the lots. They do have a variation if you still want the map outlines. They have like a light variant. And I will say it doesn't completely like wipe everything off the screen. It's really just the map outline. The size of the lot is, if someone lives there or not, those details are not gone. It's just simply the map outline. So the next mod I would like to showcase is something that I didn't realize I absolutely needed in my game until I took it out. And that mod is the Classic Serif Font Override by PXL. Basically, this mod is just a font override. It just turns the font from the basic Sims 4 font and it changed it to Classic Serif. And I didn't realize how much I needed this mod and how accustomed I am to this mod until I took it out. A couple months ago, I was like troubleshooting some UI stuff. So I took all my UI mods out and I went in the game and I was like, why does this game just look so off? Like, I know the UI recolor's not in there and a couple of things aren't in there, but why does it just look so wrong and wonky? It was because I had no font override. I thought I was going to have to get rid of her, but fortunately for me, she was still compatible. There are lots of different font overrides out there. Whether you like the Life is Strange look, there's more like elegant ones, but I know Large Tater Tots has a couple of versions. Just depends what you're looking for, but that is very much an option for you if you're tired of looking at the same Sims 4 font. So the next mod in this showcase is the Remove Purchase button by Semantically. It's definitely not essential, but it's essential for me. So Sims introduce a purchase cart button at the top of the screen. Click on it, tell you about a couple of DLCs that you can download, or buy. When this update first came out, the Sims community was livid because who wants to be playing the game? You see a pulsing shopping cart telling you, yeah, you need to get this, you need to get this pack. So Semantically got to work and he came out with this mod to remove the purchase button. But speaking of build by, the next mod I would like to showcase is the Active Objects Retexture by Gshade. This mod makes it so when you click on an item in build mode and you see that green box that's around it, it just changes that. So currently I have the thin version in my game, and this mod has several versions. So they have a sketchy version, a Sims 1, and a Sims 2 and 3 version. And the last mod in this section that I will be showcasing for you today is the Better Simology panel bisomatically. Now this mod just recently came out. It might be one of the best mods on this list, truly, and of course it's bisomatically. He just knows what he's doing. This mod makes it so when you open up the Simology panel, you're not bombarded with a wall of information. So usually when you open up the Simology panel, you have to scroll down several times just to get to whatever section you're looking for, whether it's voting, your Sims, romantic preferences, their lifestyles, education, their traits. There's just so much built into the Simology panel. And what this mod does is condenses it into icons. This mod initially was not fully compatible with UI cheats, but now Somatically has made sure to include a compatibility package if you're using UI cheats, so that way you can still cheat in the Simology panel, which is great. So if you are a UI cheats user, I definitely recommend you have the compatibility package with it. So if you're clicking over there after you download this mod and you're like, I don't know what's going on, please make sure you check and see if you have that compatibility package with UI cheats. Well, moving on to our environmental mods. The first mod I would like to showcase is actually a collection of mods, and it is the Plantal Terrain Overrides. These are exactly what they're called, terrain overrides, and I will say they're not specifically for every world, and it does override several base game assets since they are used in other worlds too. So first one I like to show you is the ones from Zulani, and that is the sand and trees. So essentially it's the sand a lot less yellow, a little more beige, doesn't completely get rid of the warmth of the sand, which is still nice. I definitely prefer this vibe over the bright yellow vibe that we had going on, but also the trees, they did remove some of the yellow. Pretty much the vibe of the Sulani overrides that they did is get rid of a lot of the yellow, so they're a lot more green, more vibrant, and I prefer these a lot better than how the game naturally looks. That's something that's always made me upset, but here we are. The next set of terrain overrides are for Copperdale. So I'm currently at Copperdale Pier, and as you can see, things just look a little more greener. They came romance. Oh wait, that's so cute. Lovebirds and a cuddle card, cuddle power. Oh, that's so cute. So the override is for the grass. It's for the trees. They're a little more greener. They do have different variations where you can choose what you want, but it doesn't look too much different. But there are a couple of things you will notice. Another one I have in my game is for these wildflowers over here. They have several ones. You can get orange, blue, purple, white, all these different colors you can get for just this little patch of flowers. It's very much not essential, but I think I like it, and I'm gonna switch it out occasionally whenever I remember to do so. But overall, Copperdale just looks a little more lush, a little more woody. This is exactly what I was expecting it to look like, and now I can finally have it look exactly like that. And now moving over to Mount Komorebi, we have a couple more terrain overrides. The main one being the grass. It's kind of like the Copperdale one, but not as evergreen, if that makes sense. Plantal did separate it by district. There's one for the Wakaba district and the Simbacha. I believe that's how I pronounce it. It just really looks nice, especially in the summertime. I also have one for Brindleton Bay. Pretty much just the same thing in Brindleton Bay, but I'm not going to showcase that one today. If you're interested in that one, you definitely can go check it out. Would recommend that one especially, but it pretty much does the exact same thing. And the last of the terrain overrides that I want to show from Plantal is the one for Selva Dorada. Oh my gosh, let me show you. This one might be my most favorite one, only because one of my issues with the Jungle Adventure Pack was the color of the trees. I hated how teal and blue the trees look. I wanted it to look a lot more lush, a lot more tropical, and it just never gave that. It really does give everything that needs to be gave, okay? Like, look at this. Now, granted, I don't play with Jungle Adventure all too much or even visit Selva Dorada, but I do love this overall vibe and look better, and it kind of makes me want to go explore the jungle a little bit more. But maybe I'll say that for another video. Y'all, tell me why I just happened to look at Calliope PC. First woohoo. The first time on the covers with a new sim is always a memorable event. Scratched an itch. Like, what did you... I did not know that's what they were doing. Oh my gosh. I thought she was just going to sleep. I didn't know that they were like, oh my gosh. They're so funny. Okay, y'all. Let's move on to the next mod. Alright guys, so the next mod I would like to quickly showcase is the No Blur Distance mod by Mizuyuki. But typically when you look out past a certain point in your game, it gets really blurry in the back. But what this mod does is it gets rid of that. So when you look out into the horizon, you can still see everything, at least much more than you could initially. So to really get a sense of setting, which actually leads me to our next mod, which is the Matte Replacements by Simsy Boy. And basically what this mod does is it replaces the 2D backdrops with like more 3D landscapes. Although you can clearly see that this is not a real full tree like the other assets in the game, what this mod does is it made it so the backdrops had a lot more dimension. It didn't feel as flat. Sometimes if you look at the worlds, it can feel a bit set dressing-y, especially when you go just a little bit further. And because I have like mods in my game, like clickable world mod where I can pretty much like click anywhere and it will allow my Sims to walk over there, even though previously this would have been like blocked off. It just makes it feel a lot fuller and less like this is a backdrop, you know what I'm saying? Even though we're aware that if we go past a certain point, like where we really are seeing what's, you know, behind the curtain in the distance. But this makes it so the world feels a little bit more immersive and realistic. Following that mod, the next mod I would like to discuss is the Fluffy Clouds Override by Miko. And essentially it just makes the clouds in the sky look a little fluffier, a little more realistic, less 2D pasted in the sky, but just a little bit more aesthetic. If you have caught on this far in the video, is the purpose of these mods. And even when it comes to the next mod, how it looks in combination with that mod is just so beautiful. Now before I wrap this section up, there are two mods that I definitely want to highlight, and that is my lighting mods. The first one being the Sunblind mod by Dr. Hayes. And if you've been in the Sims community at least for the last 2 years, you've heard so many Simmers talk about this lighting mod. It's for a good reason. Greatest Dr. Hayes does have several other lighting mods like Milk Thistle, Twinkle Toes, Moon Glow, just to name a few. It really does do a good job creating atmosphere and making the lighting feel a lot more realistic, especially when it comes to the sunrise and sunset moments. Those are the prettiest the game looks in my opinion with this mod. Which leads us to the second lighting mod that I have in my game that I can't really demonstrate, but the mod that I'm speaking of is the even better in-game lighting mod by Northern Siberian Winds. I am using the dark version, and basically it makes it so it gets rid of the blue hues in the game. And also, it makes the lighting inside a lot better in my opinion for when I'm doing like more mood lighting and things of that nature. This is the lighting that I make sure to use. The final mod that I would like to showcase in this section is less about like lighting, clouds, and terrain, and more about images we see around the world. So the next mod I would like to showcase is the Semi Shuno and Del Sol billboard overrides by SimSeek. Basically, this mod overrides all of the billboards in the game. This creator has taken tons of pictures and references to real life shows and movies and products that we use and has made it into a sim version. And so the advertisements that you see on the billboards around town reflect that. I feel like it adds more personality to my game. It makes my Sims feel like they're immersed in some world instead of just seeing Penny Pizzazz in that one city living outfit post up on the screen. You know what I'm saying? Now moving on to the in-game mod. The first one I would like to showcase is a staple, and that is the Hidden Highlight by Frogity. And basically it makes it to where when you hover over your Sims or different objects in the game, it gets rid of that highlight that you usually see. So instead of your Sim standing out and making it known that you're about to click on that object, and instead you'll just see the mouse and the gear icon that lets you know that you can interact with that object or Sim. But I just like my game feeling a little more immersive. Speaking of realism, the next mod I would like to showcase is the Missing Plumbod mod by Mint Valentine. And if you've seen any of my other mod videos, I've made sure to include this mod at least one other time because it really is a staple. Basically just gets rid of the plumb bob from above your Sim's head. Now typically I know people like to turn off headline effects, and that's great. However, there are lots of things that you need the headline effects for, and it just makes it easier so that way if I need to hover over Sim and see their name, relationship dynamic. I honestly forget that I have it in my game until I see someone else's game and they have it in. I'm like, oh yeah, there is a plumb bob above most of the Sim's head. Yes, there is. Moving on to the next mod, which is really a collection of mods, and it is the Envy Games Override. And there's three particular ones I want to showcase in today's video. First one is a facial mod, and basically it makes it so your Sims smile less. So sometimes it can be okay, but for the most part, like when they're just sitting on the couch chilling, they should not be smiling like that. Like in real life, I'm not smiling like that. So the next mod under this umbrella is a UI mood mod, and it makes it so corner of the screen when you are looking at your Sims moodlets, reaction pictures less intense. So you still have the emotions, but it just makes them a little less intense and less exaggerated. And then the last mod in this group is a mod that alters the standing idols of the Sims. So it basically makes it so like your Sims stand neutrally. And the last mod I would like to showcase in this section is the No Z's mod by Chris29. It does exactly what the name of the mod is called. It gets rid of the Z's when your Sims are gone to sleep. It's also helpful when I'm taking screenshots of my Sims while they're sleeping, and I don't have to worry about those Z's being in their face. Now that I finished showcasing all the mods I wanted to show you all in this video, I do want to quickly touch on a couple of Gshade presets that I think you guys might like. I do love to switch back and forth between certain presets, sometimes when I take different screenshots, or when I just want a different vibe and feel in my own personal gameplay. So the first preset I am showcasing is the Simhattan preset Pixa, and basically this is what it looks like. I absolutely enjoy this preset. I think it's so cute and cozy. I remember the first time I saw this preset because I watched her videos. I was like, what Gshade is she using? And then she released it, and I thought it was so nice. Personally, what I like to do is I like to turn off the ambient light to give it the vibe that I really like it to have. And this one actually feels like very similar to my own preset, but it's just a little bit like darker, if that makes sense. Very nice saturation. The greens really pop out in this preset, and overall it's one of those like realistic color in your game, but not too overboard or not too bright. The next preset is the Dayset preset by Daykin. He is a newer Sims creator, I should say, at least on the platform of YouTube. He has a series on his channel called the Rockwell Legacy, but for a charity event he recently uploaded his preset for his viewers to watch and enjoy, and it is just so nice. I remember watching him play and I'm like, dang, what preset does he use? But it's more or less very similar to my own preset. I think it's funny how I'm like, oh wow, but like it's a lot less warm than my preset. So my preset is very brown, orangey, but his is very neutral, I would say. And the next preset I would like to discuss is the Fernwa 1.0 preset by Fernway Sims. This one is just very, very bright. If you're someone who likes a brighter game, I definitely recommend you get this one. If you're someone who likes the presets by Exoglam, I definitely think you would benefit from utilizing this preset as well. So, and the last preset I would like to recommend for you guys is the Simplicity preset by MWVWV on Tumblr. I know you're probably like, girl, where is the color? But this preset is a very, very, very simple preset. It literally doesn't really require too many shaders. It's literally just sharpen, MXAO, and smoothing. And so I like using this one, especially when I'm building and things like that, when I get tired of looking at too much color in the game and I just need it to look just very plain, bland, and also when I want to see like the genuine swatches of things, I utilize this. You get just a little bit of something, not too much. It's not my favorite because look, like it looks just a little bland, especially they're so funny to me. Especially I don't know what I can't remember what I was about to say. You know, guys, I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap this video up right here. That is all of the aesthetic mods I have for you today. I do have plenty more overrides in my game that largely affect the look and vibe of the objects my Sims interact with on the day-to-day. So if you're interested in a continuation video where I showcase many more of the default replacements and enhancements I use, then let me know in the comments down below. But I hope you all enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!